Hello ladies, gentlemen, and beautiful people, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do a little restore project. During the winter months, I trash picked these two workbenches, and they're not like phenomenal, but they're not horrible. They're at a really nice height that I like. It's not too low that you're stooched over while you're working, but it's not also too high that you're just like, I don't know what to do with my hands. However, they are used, which I don't mind if they look used. This one has some spackle on it, so I'm going to take it down, sand it down. If the stains stay, the stains stay. It is what it is. I'm not going to like bleach the wood or anything, but I'm gonna sand it all down. I'm gonna stain them, and I'm gonna put some polyurethane on, just like I did with my computer desk, which I'll put some pictures here for you to see what I did. Unfortunately, I didn't film that, but I thrifted a little table that I turned into my computer desk, and it was a horrible orange veneer finish, and so I sanded it down. I did a light stain on it, and I think it was, I'll look up what it is and I'll let you know. And then I polyurethane coated it to seal it and protect it. And so I'm going to be doing the same, except I'm going to do a darker stain on these. They're not phenomenal tables, but they are what they are. They're free work tables, workbenches, and so I figured I'd take you along and show you the process. So right now I'm in some nicer clothes, but I am going to change and put on my work dress clothes, and I will take the tops off and I will see you outside where we can start prepping these and getting them ready to stain and finish them. So, see you there. So first, all you got to do is a lot of sanding, and so I'm just going to do a time lapse of me sanding everything. There's a bit of like spackle over here, so I'm going to see if I can scrape a lot of that off first, but hope you like it. Enjoy the music. I'll give you a quick before and after. This one had the red stain on it. I don't think I had any close-ups of it, but this one has the spackle and some black paint and some other stains. And it was stained. I don't know what it was, but my desk was a similar thing where it was just kind of this like reddish color, and I did not like it. So the finish I used on my desk was tung oil with some polyurethane on top, and then for this one we're going to use some walnut stain with some polyurethane on top. So now that I have it all sanded, I'm going to use some mineral spirits to clean it off and get as much of the dust off as I can before I go to stain it. Unfortunately, it's supposed to rain tomorrow, so I'm going to have to put this in the garage and stain it inside tomorrow, so I'll make sure to put a fan on while I'm doing that. Wow. Just a little bit of mineral spirits and my rag is already brown, completely brown. Whoops. There goes the cap. I will say, for being just boards that are glued together, doesn't look bad. Granted, a lot of tables when you get to this size, unless you get a giant slab, are going to be just boards glued together. But regardless, it doesn't look bad. Oops. I'm going to do one more wipe down, and then get ready to stain. I'm going to let that dry we're going to move this into the garage, and then we're going to stain it. Alrighty. So, as I said before, we're going to be using some walnut stain. Why are we using walnut? One, I like it. And two, I already have it. So, two very good reasons, in my opinion. So I am going to start on the centers. I saw one short recently, and it was a gentleman using used motor oil as his stain. It actually looked pretty good. He left it on overnight. I don't exactly know how long I'll leave mine on. It says 5 to 15 minutes. And then you wipe it down. So, we shall see. That is beautiful. I'll take a quick picture. Vroom vroom. It is amazing what a little bit of stain does. Now, when you are staining things, be careful of the rags. You don't want to just toss them in a trash can because they can combust. And if you look it up, there are videos of people who have been staining things and they have a trash can or a bucket of stain rags in the back of their truck and it just catches on fire. And once it's on fire, there's not much you can do about it but let it burn. Unless you have a fire extinguisher, but yeah. So be careful of the rags you have, because stain is very, very flammable, and you just want to be careful with it. All right. I might wipe these down. I don't know if I have to. I think it just soaked it all in. So I think I like it the way it is. I might wipe it down in like 5-10 minutes. So, it got dark. I apologize. But I will take my glove off and show you the close-up details. So, as I said, it is amazing what a little bit of stain does. And now, some areas, it just has lighter wood. Some areas has darker. And that's a-okay with me. There are some scratches. So over here, you can kind of see where the sandpaper must have had something on it. And there are little grooves in it, but I am okay with that because it is a work table, and that's just part of the story of the work table. And so I really like it. So I'm going to coat it with some mint wax, and then I'm going to coat it with some polyurethane to seal it, and then reassemble the tables, and we'll show them back in place. So I let this sit overnight. It is dried, and as dry as it'll get. And so we are now up to the polyurethane. It's not optimal temperature for this, so it'll take longer to dry, but that's okay because I have to do 2 coats anyway. So it is what it is. Now I say to do it with natural brush or a sponge. I only have one sponge brush today, so we're going to do with this natural bristle brush first, because you have to sand it between coats anyway. So there are a lot of bubbles, and there will be because of the stupid brush. But we'll get her done. So why I started there, I don't know. Start in the middle. About to check the camera to see how long I had left in the recording, but I missed it. So we missed the last like 5 minutes of the last two sections, and then I covered the ends again because the end grain is sucking in a lot of the polyurethane, and I want it to be a fairly even coat for the first pass. So I've been hitting the ends again just a little bit, and so I think we're at a good spot where I am going to let this dry now, and then we'll come back when I have to sand and do my second coat. But yeah, the end grains have been sucking in a lot. And if you can hear it, it is raining. So that's why I moved it in from yesterday. It was a bright sunshiny day yesterday, and now it is raining. So, like I said before, the weather isn't opportune. They say 77 degrees with 50% humidity, and it is not bad. So it'll take a little longer to dry today, but that's fine. So I'll be back with you in a couple hours after it's dried. So the first coat has sat for a good while. It is dry enough to put on the second coat. So now I gotta sand it with 220 grit sandpaper, and then I'm gonna put a second coat on. Probably won't film that, but it's happening, and I'll bring you back when I'm done. All right, that didn't actually take too long. Turns out when you use a foam brush, it goes a lot better. So if you have the option of doing a foam brush over a regular brush, I would suggest that. It just went on a lot smoother and a lot faster. And I think in a slightly thicker coat too. But now all that's left to do is wait. So I'm gonna leave these overnight, let them dry, and they should be good now. They're just workbenches. They don't have to be perfect, but I'm excited. They look really good. So nice. So I'm gonna close the door, close up shop, and these are gonna dry overnight. And I'll tune back in when they're ready to get back installed. All right, with that, the tables are done. They've been sitting for 24 hours, so they are cured enough for light work, according to the instructions on the can. It can take up to a week for them to cure fully, so I don't plan on doing anything major on them, so that should be fine. I think they look absolutely beautiful for what they are, and just shows that you can make anything to your taste, regardless of what it is. It may take a little work, it may take some supplies, but this one had what looked like fruit punch spilled on it, and this one had some black paint and some spackle all over it, and a little bit of elbow grease, a little bit of stain, some polyurethane on top, and they are completely transformed into something that looks a heck of a lot better in my opinion. Now, just shows that a little bit of paint goes a long way. So, I hope you liked the video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button. Send it to a friend. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.